히트 시즌2.
Welcome everybody to the ace match of Samsung Galaxy Con versus CJ Entus. The rematch of Hero versus Deer is going to decide it all between these two teams tonight.
You know, I really wanted to vote for Deer. I have this tingly feeling. Only Monday Caster Chancellor is doing it, but you know, when KT beat SKT in the Grand Finals of 2014, everyone had this feeling KT was going to win, but they still voted for SKT because they were a better team at the time. I did the same thing here, but I have this feeling that Deer could upset.
It's definitely possible. You were talking about it. You know? That game that they played was not exactly a long, drawn-out, Hero outplaying Deer. Like, he did outplay him, and he did take the game. But at the same time, we didn't get to see what Deer had planned, really. He kind of just was caught off guard. And he actually looks really confident in the booth. You can see himself getting hyped up for this match. He definitely has the potential to take this one.
Absolutely does. Hero, on the other hand, getting himself psyched up. When you see this Hero face, you might think he's nervous, but I think he's just so focused right now.
Yeah, Hero is actually, he does that a lot where he looks a little bit nervous, but he's actually totally fine in that booth. We're going to jump into game number 5, the ace match on Overgrowth right now. Up here in the top right, in the blue for Samsung Galaxy Con, it is Deer.
And down to the bottom left, in yellow for CJ Entus, it is Hero. I believe a win here would actually secure him the first place spot pretty much indefinitely, as it would require Maru to play an ace match and win it, as well as win his regular match to tie it. So if that's the best Maru can do, is tie it. So if he wins this, they will tie. So it will secure him still to win, because if you tie, then you both get first, basically. So another important thing, and it is, again, his ceremony day for his 100 wins. He has 101 now, and he's looking for 102. And this is Overgrowth, a map where aggression is quite common, just simply by the nature of the short rush distances by ground. But you also sometimes see proxy Stargates and things of the like. Even Hero not shy of proxying a robotics facility on smaller maps like this.
Yeah. One other thing I was thinking about, actually, going back to the winning, the most winning players, is that in the past, like last year, we actually had 4 rounds and 8 teams. So there was a lot more games for these players to play. But I think the most winning player had just 20 wins, or maybe 21. I think it was Zest. Not 100% sure, but I think he might have tied with Hero. And now Hero, if he wins this one, he's going to be at 17 wins.
It was one whole less round.
Yeah, one whole less round and less games played in every round as well.
Yeah, someone actually did the math that in this year of Pro League, we have about like 20 to 30% less games than we had last year in total. So, I mean, when you think about that, it is quite impressive to have that many wins. It means it also shows like he's pretty much been fielded every time, and that's the story of CJ Entus, right? Biel and Hero have to get their wins.
Not just fielded every time, but fielded every single ace match, I think. I don't think they've used a different player. I can't remember a single time where another CJ player has come out for an ace match, and it makes sense. Hero's kind of their guy, right? Why would they rely on anyone else?
Well, we are going to see Hero check for proxies here, as Deer places a pylon in front of his Nexus, because he wants to make sure that if any aggression comes his way, he will have that to defend. That is how he died last game when they played against each other on Frozen Temple, was to an aggressive opening. And just simply Hero scouting, Deer missing the units because he was committing to the Blink Tech and didn't have it yet. So a very smart move there. And still no Nexus coming up for Deer, but I think he's about to drop it down. Unless I'm mistaken here. There it is.
Both players dropping it down around the same time. And Deer actually got the scout on Hero's Adepts and where they are on the map here. And Hero was not quite able to do the same thing. As you can see, Hero trying to shade up into the natural, see what's up. And now it looks like Deer wants to get on top of these Adepts.
He should split his shade with his Adepts here. Okay, it looks like he's going to just fight this instead, but he misses it. if he had sent his Adepts and the Shades in opposite directions, he could have secured the kills there for sure. It's hard to do multitask like that while you're also macroing at home, making Phoenixes and whatnot. But the advantage still to Deer here, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade, and I think that Hero's Adept should escape here with only minimal damage sustained. In fact, he's even going to send it for a follow-up scout.
This is going to get quite interesting because in the first game that these two players played, it was basically mirrored builds. Eventually, Deer went into Twilight Tech and then got caught out by the aggression on 2 bases from Hero. But now it's going to be Phoenixes versus just another very straight-up kind of robotics play from Hero.
I'm starting to wonder what Deer's plan is with this, because Phoenixes can be very powerful if you get them en masse and you find an opportunity to get large amounts of damage done. This is kind of like somewhat of a delayed Phoenix tech. You can also shut down Warp Prisms really hard. You can even use it to, if you have the timing right, if things work out just right, you can kill observers with them and deny vision, and sometimes even use that for later on DT play. I think he's hoping to just try to force some overcharges to be wasted and get like maybe 3 probes max. Getting any more than that would probably just be luck on his part. The Stalker's here in position. 3 probes, and there you go. That's like pretty much about as much as you can get.
And look at this. It looks like he wants to go for another quick third base, just like he did on Frozen Temple. But this time he's going to have even less on the ground because he has committed to 3 Phoenixes. And if Hero identifies this, I mean, we see a very similar push coming across the map from Hero.
He needs these gateways up ASAP. These Phoenixes are designed to bring him back. But look, with overcharges, this is not as powerful as it used to be in, you know, Wings of Liberty and even Heart of the Swarm. Like, Phoenixes, only 3 of them is not going to turn your whole army around. In fact, it's almost like a tell of like, okay, you are trying desperately to slow me down, but I'm not slowing down. This train does not stop. And Sentry's already getting damage put off onto them. He does have 3 pylons this time, but he's just going to elevator in, and he can force field the ramp. He's not doing it.
Oh, I think he should have gone for that. The entire army gets into the main.
And he's just going to keep elevatoring in here with a larger pickup radius, going right into this pylon right now. The overcharge does grab a sentry, but that's all it grabs. Probes here on the Immortal, but this is just too many units here for Hero.
Oh, this is such a smart build. The elevator, I don't think Deer was really necessarily thinking about that. He had 3 pylons and everything set up to defend the natural, but nothing to defend the main here.
Looks like he wants to snipe this Warp Prism, and I think he will get it, but I don't know if it'll matter here. These units are now somewhat trapped and isolated, but 2 gateways are unpowered. The Cybernetics core is under fire. If he loses that, that's basically checkmate.
Man. I think it's going to be just that. He can only make Zealots from here on out. He can't afford to make a Cybernetics core. Well, looks like he can, but it's not going to matter at this point. He's just losing way too much.
He will have Blink for his 4 Stalkers, and it's not going to matter.
The lift for the millisecond there on the Immortal. That's going to be it.
It's like, just till he uses, maybe he somehow pulls something. No. I'm like just trying to, I'm just pulling words out of my behind here, trying to
look at Hero, sticks out his tongue. He knows he's taking the win. Whereas Deer, he can't seem to accept it just yet.
That is a game over here. Hero 2-0s Deer today, and will take the win for CJ Entus. Trying to warp in a few more Zealots, and this is what I'm talking about. It's like, okay, maybe Holter gets Immortal out, but he has 27 probes. He didn't get the 3rd Nexus. There's a probe there. Yeah. He's like, oh, I guess I'll make that now.
This time, yeah, just as you're saying, he doesn't have that build, but
he could have made that a long time ago, by the way. Like, he's had a surplus of minerals for so long, especially because of the Cybernetics core snipe, where you were talking about, he's like, oh, he has enough money to make it, but he's just not doing it. He didn't make that quickly. He didn't make the Nexus. Did he even remake the core? No, he didn't. He's just now remaking it. There's no way he can recover from this.
You can see here, I think he, maybe got a little bit ahead of himself where he's like, oh, the game is over, right? And he was like, oh, crap, I gotta make a wall here. I gotta make sure I can survive. But
scary thing would be, like, right now, Hero's probably like, oh, what if he has DTs or something? Like, he didn't leave the game. Oh, my God. He's making an observer.
Yeah.
He's getting 5 more gates. He already has
2. He's going to make a 3rd one just in case. He's doing exactly what you're talking about. It's like, well, what are the only ways that I can lose this game? Well, DTs, basically.
Yeah.
And that's about it at this point.
The core is remade. Deer will probably have to cancel his 3rd Nexus to get money to survive here. He's going to have to make that choice very quickly if he does. Adepts decide not to shade in. And 3 Immortals here. I mean, that is a lot of firepower. He's got good positioning here with his units, and he has 2 sentries. Hero does need to be careful. He does not want to throw this win away.
Oh, he's just going to warp in just 8 more Adepts. 8 more. And once the Resonating Glaze finishes up, I think he could just shade onto this army, perhaps.
I think he's going to commit this time.
Well, he didn't shade all of it. Okay, here.
There. Oh, he doesn't commit still.
Yeah, he's kind of not all together here, but he does have a massive army.
He needs to get his Mothership Core over there. I don't know why it's not participating in this fight right now. It's way too late. Now it comes in, but all the pylons are already dead. The Shade will commit this time into the mineral line. There's just way too many Adepts here, and obviously Immortals are not going to do too much against that, even with their barriers. One Phoenix comes over to try to stop reinforcements, but this is double the army supply here.
Another huge warp in. Actually, just 2 more Adepts, but there you go. It's going to be way too much. It looks like Hero is finally going to be able to close out this game and take the win for CJ Entus.
That should be it. The Adepts coming up now. Deer is frustrated. Gold base is taken.
Man, he should have just Matter Nexus to him. He doesn't need to take that gold base.
Deer is like Micro and his Stalkers. He is mad, but his anger will not change anything here in this game. GG. 32 probes killed there at the end of it all. And Hero with another standard pressure countering the tech build of Deer on these 2-player maps. He's mastered this pressure. He showed us a really cool elevator tactic there as well.
Oh, yeah.
Knowing that the numbers would win out at the end of the day if he could keep that Prism alive.
I feel like Hero saw the Phoenixes and he's like, really? I mean, you had a ground army the last time. You just took an earlier 3rd base and tried to get Blink or other techs out. But this time you went Phoenixes? Really?
It was a delayed Phoenix, and that's why I blurted out the kind of the big question mark. I was like, what is he really going to accomplish with
what
these
is this
Phoenixes? And it looks like a build that works versus other types of play, maybe perhaps a little bit more passive styles of play. But in both games today, Hero just showed, if I scout that you're doing something weird, I'm just going to go and pressure you and do massive damage. This time Deer was much better set up. He had the pylon wall set up, he had the overcharges ready, but the elevator caught him off guard. Had he been able to stop that from happening, I think he could have held that and perhaps won this game.
For sure. Well, you guys can see the results here. Biel and Hero once again, seemingly the only players that can win out here for CJ Entus. But they do their jobs, and what a great day for Hero. It's his 100th win ceremony. He gets the award there for his 100th win, and he gets 2 extra on top of that and wins basically the series for CJ Entus.
There you have it. I love that Hero pose, his winning pose.
Yeah.
So obviously the MVP today will be Biel, right? No, it's got to be Hero.
It's going to be Hush, man.
And
poor Hush.
We do have today a new translator. It is his first time, so we'll see how this interview goes, guys. We'll probably be doing some sort of hybrid